Hello there, my name is Mark. I'm 35 years old, 6'2", and as of today, the 2nd of January 2026, I am 97.5 kilograms. Now, whilst that might not sound like the heaviest weight to some people, to me it's time for a bit of a wake-up call. So here's my story. Go back 5 years, and here on the screen you'll now see a picture of me on my 30th birthday. At this point I was weighing in at 18 stone and got to that stage because, well, truthfully, I was single, lonely, probably a bit depressed. Food became my main source of comfort. I lived on my own, so it granted me the ability to just eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, with, no one to ever check it or give me a kick up the hole, really. And I would eat. I would get a takeaway. I would go to, like, say, pizza chain, maybe get myself a large family size pizza. I would get myself a garlic bread to go with it, maybe a couple of dips. Yeah, I would eat. If I went to Chippy and I couldn't figure out if I wanted a beef burger or a chicken burger, I'd order both. Probably a wee side of onion rings or something to go with it. Lovely. But yes, that got out of hand really badly. And working in IT, my main form of exercise back then was simply walking to the car in order to go to work, and getting out of the car to come back home. I would spend 2-3 days at a time literally sitting in the house doing nothing but eating. So yeah, wasn't really a great lifestyle. So yeah, I got to my 30th birthday and pretty much decided that it's now the time that I need to make a change. So how I went about that change was probably a bit different than how you think. My first step was get myself a puppy, this little lad here, Cooper, because in my head, if I got a dog, I needed to walk him, so that would get me out of the house. And to be fair, it did. It got me out of the house, so I got him, and yeah, got out of the house, started walking, going to parks and things, and doing that, but nothing extraneous. At the same time, I was still eating like a pig. Around this time, I also then met my now wife, and somehow, even though I was at my most lowest confidence point and my biggest weight, she gave me a chance and saw something in me that to this day I still don't know what she saw at that stage, but I'm thankful that she did. But between her and the dog, things started to happen then because of it. I would go on more walks in the park. I'd start walking up hills and things. It slowly was building up a wee bit of fitness. Nothing major, but a wee bit. And then, yeah, a wee bit of weight came off, but the problem was, of course, that my diet was never in check. As much as I was probably not eating anywhere near as badly, we weren't doing takeaways or anything anymore. My wife being a PE teacher, she, knew the nutrition side of things, but my portion sizes were all out of control, and I was probably, in work, grabbing a chocolate bar here, there, everywhere, which didn't help matters. So the diet was never right, so I never really lost any true weight. So that's then when we decided it's time for me to get a PT. And he was the best thing that could have happened to me at the time. He started making me more accountable and pushed me to, be better. Going 3 times a week to him, 5 a.m. in the morning most of the time. He really did push me in the right way. And that's when I started to see the major changes happening. Weight started coming off. I started gaining muscle size, and progress started happening rapidly. My confidence started to grow from there. I started doing things I never thought I would. I went and took up golf. I would go for runs. I even went skiing. Now, was I good at half these things? God, no. But I had the confidence to give them a go, which is amazing. I've completely different way of thinking, way of life. It was brilliant. I felt so much better. I felt I'm in the best possible way I could ever be. And as you can see by these pictures, you know, like I completely changed from when I first started. Culminating in this photo here of me, where I feel like the muscle I had in my arms looked, wow, amazing. I was so chuffed with it. That photo was taken in 2021, but not long after it, I got an injury working out in the gym. Stupidly, my own fault for probably not doing the right form. But I got a prolapse disc in my neck. The pain was horrible. Maybe I couldn't sleep at night. I could barely lift my arms over my head for a shower, anything. And because of it, I then cancelled the PT and said I need a few months off to try and fix this. And after months, I mean months of physio sessions, I finally got it back fine. But by then, I'd lost all motivation. I was no longer training the way I was before. Yes, I was still walking the dog and going out for lovely hikes and things, but I wasn't doing weight training. I wasn't in a gym. I wasn't doing anything of substance. So I lost all my muscle mass. And more importantly then, life started getting in the way. I'm not saying the way, life just started happening. I got engaged, I then got married. I had a daughter, I had a son. And next thing you know, I blinked and we are here, where we are today. Where I am, I say, 97.5 kilograms and realizing I'm not looking in the shape I want to look like. So that's where we are today. So, to get to the point of this, I have two goals in my mind. Step one was simple. I'm no longer going to the gym. I've tried over the years going to gyms and things, you know, but I'd find that I'd maybe go for a week or two, make good progress, and then miss a day because of something, and then one day would turn into 1 week, and 1 week would turn to 3 weeks, and it was not working. So I would never really go to the gym. So my first step was, instead of me having to go to the gym, why don't I bring the gym to me? So I'm very lucky that the house we have has a decent sized garage, and as you can probably see around me, I have some equipment that we've now put into it, which is great. We've been doing that over the last few months, and it's built into something fantastic. It's not the most aesthetically amazing looking gym as what you'd see all over the place, but it has everything I'd ever dream of needing. So that was the first step. And now the second step was, I now needed accountability, which is why I've now made this channel. It's for no one else but me. That's it. I don't care if I don't get a single view. This is my way of staying accountable. I'm going to have to post things on this here, and I'm going to keep track of my progress on it, and I'm going to stick at this. And this is me talking directly to myself right now to say this, that I will stick at this time. 2026 will be the year where I push myself and get back into some decent form of fitness. So the goal I have, first off, is to lose 10 kilograms. From 97.5 to 87.5. I think that's very realistic. I should be able to do that in a decent time frame. I'm not giving an exact time frame yet, but I'm going to probably break it down into monthly goals. You know, for January here, my first goal is to lose at least 2.5 kilograms. If I can make that happen, great. If I don't make it happen, then yeah, I'm going to have to figure out a punishment for not making it happen. Hopefully I don't not make it happen. But yeah, so that's the reason for this channel. Yeah, and we'll get back into good shape. So yeah, if you've watched this far, thanks for watching, I guess. I'm now about to do my very first session. I will show the workouts I'm doing for that session here. And yeah, we'll go from there. Thanks.